Good evening. Tonight, before sleep gently finds us, I want to leave you with something that has been quietly changing the way I see my own life. There are moments when the mind looks back and wonders what became of everything we poured our hearts into. Not because we regret giving, but because we are human, and humans want to understand what their sincerity built. Perhaps it was love. Perhaps it was time. Perhaps it was careful work, quiet patience, or believing in something before there was evidence to support it. The mind wants to measure these things, and so it asks, did it matter? What did it become? Was any of it worth it? Tonight, I want to offer a gentler question, not what became of what I gave, but what became of me because I gave it. Perhaps we spend much of our lives looking outward for proof that what we offered had value. We hope our kindness will be remembered, our work noticed, our love received. And sometimes those things happen. Sometimes they don't arrive the form we imagined. And yet, perhaps we only have been looking in one direction. Because every sincere act always has two places where it continues living. One in the world, the other within us. We may never fully know what became of the first, but we are quietly living the second. And perhaps that is where the question wants to lead us tonight. Not backward into what we cannot measure, but inward toward what has already remained. There is something beautiful about practicing sincerity, not because sincerity guarantees a particular outcome, but because everything we practice begins to practice us. Each time we choose patience, we become a little more patient. Each time we choose courage, we become a little more courageous. Each time we extend kindness, something within us learns kindness for ourselves. Love is no different. Love does not reach outward, it shapes inward. Perhaps that is why nothing given with a sincere heart is ever truly lost. Because before love changes a circumstance, or another person, or the direction of a relationship, it quietly changes the one who is loving. Every sincere act leaves its fingerprints, some upon the world, in places we may never see, and some upon ourselves, where they settle quietly into who we are, into the ways we listen, into the way we extend grace to people who are still learning, into the way we recognize effort in others because we know what effort costs. Perhaps that has been happening all along, and perhaps the next time sincerity asks something of you, you can give it, knowing it is never leaving empty handed. When we begin to see life this way, something softens. We no longer need every experience to prove itself immediately. We no longer need every kindness to return to us in equal measure, because we begin to notice what has quietly remained. The patience remains, the generosity remains, the courage remains, the tenderness remains. None of those things disappeared. They became part of you. Perhaps coming home to yourself is simply remembering that what you practiced never left. It settled into your character, into the way you forgive, into the way you begin again, even after you had a reason not to. And that is not a small thing. That is the quiet work of a life lived sincerely. And now the day begins to loosen its hold. The questions grow quieter. The need to calculate every outcome begins to rest. Tonight, you do not need to decide whether your love was enough. It was already doing something deeper. The greatest gift sincerity leaves behind is not always what it changes around us. It is who it quietly teaches us to become. So as you rest tonight, may you remember that nothing offered with an open heart is ever truly wasted, because every sincere act has already found a home somewhere in the world, and certainly within you. Morning will find you soon, and when it does, may you greet it as someone who has never been diminished by loving sincerely, only deepened by it. Sweetest dreams, and good night.